Oh, yes, indeed. The things we do for love, 10cc. Yeah, well, my guest standing by is the lovely Pete Bite. He's a singer, songwriter, actor, author, and creator of the lovely song that I'm going to play later on in the show, which is called Christmas Eve, Give Them Love. So, welcome to the show, Pete. How are you doing?
Thank you. I'm doing fine. And yourself?
I'm not too bad at all. Now, where are you calling us from today?
I'm in East London,
And what's your weather
Hoxton.
like? Is it cold?
It's very cold, but it's not as cold as it was yesterday. But it's still not very pleasant. It's wet and windy and chilly.
Speaking of the weather, you've made this fantastic song, Christmas Eve, Give Them Love, which we are going to be playing later on in the show. But did you start out life as a singer-songwriter? Is that what you always wanted to do?
No, I wanted to be a drummer. And when I was a kid in Ireland, I played drums in a brass band and then progressed into a pop group, like at school. And then with the troubles in Northern Ireland, it was dangerous and there wasn't that many gigs. So I joined a band that were going on tour and we went to Scotland. And while I was driving around Scotland for about a year, one of the boys in the band was reading an article in the newspaper saying, Mickey Most, when did you go and see Mickey Most? And I said, no, he wouldn't see me. And they said, yeah, he would. So I took 4 days off from the band, went to London looking for Mickey Most. And the first office I went to was in Oxford Street, and there was two girls there, two women. And I said, I'm looking for Mickey Most. They said, oh, he doesn't work here. He's in his Charles Street office. And I said to them, well, would he see anybody walking in off the street? And they said, yes, of course he would. So I went to Charles Street, and I was standing at the door. There's a buzzer system, I didn't see one in Ireland where you press the button and then the buzz comes later and you push the door.
Yeah.
I'd never seen one before. So I couldn't understand why there was a buzz after I pushed the button. I thought, I expected the buzz to happen as I pushed the button. So I'm standing there and this biker came up behind me, all in black leather.
Yeah.
And I said, how do you get into this place? And he said, oh, you just push the door when you hear the buzz. I said, oh, that's how it works. So we went in. I spoke to the receptionist. I said, I've come to see Mickey Most. And she said, oh, leave your tip with me. And I said, no, I've come all the way from Scotland just to see him. And she must have felt sorry for me. So she phoned somebody. And I was sitting there. She told me to wait in reception. And who walked out but the biker? That was Mickey Most.
Oh, was it?
I'd actually met Mickey Most on the doorstep and didn't realise it was Mickey Most.
How brilliant was that?
And he took me downstairs to his studio. And there was a band playing there. It was Susie Quattro.
Gosh.
She was rehearsing Can the Can.
Oh, for goodness sake.
So that was weird. And he played my tape, liked it, and took me up to his office and offered me a publishing deal there and then.
How awesome was that? That is amazing.
So,
Absolutely amazing. No, I was wondering whether you actually were going to be the singer of your own songs or whether you were going
well,
to...
I didn't intend to be.
Right.
Originally, I didn't intend to be. I just wanted to be a songwriter. That's why I signed a publishing deal.
Sure.
But I got a manager, a guy called Simon Davies, and he said, you can sing your own songs. I said, no, I don't want to sing them. I want other people to sing them. But he insisted. And through Simon, I ended up signing with EMI.
Gosh.
And we released the records through them. But I also released records through other people singing them, some well-known and some not so well-known singers. And that's what I prefer. I love hearing other people sing my songs.
You've got a great voice yourself, though, and you're a great musician. Did you then teach yourself to play guitar, and why did you not go into playing the drums?
Well, I was a drummer up till I was 19, and I went on my first tour to Germany as a drummer.
Right.
And there was two bands in the club we were playing in, and this band from Wales, and their drummer was just amazing. I just couldn't believe how good he was. And I said to myself, oh, I can't do that. I'll never be able to. And so I went back to Ireland and started learning the guitar.
So you were now, most people would have said you would have been inspired to get better at the drums if you heard a great player. But you decided to
I
chuck in the
aspired to be a drummer, yes. Well, I mean, I thought Keith Moon was a brilliant drummer. And I was hoping the Beatles would ask me to be their drummer, but they didn't.
Oh, that was a shame. That was really unfortunate, wasn't it? So
Yeah.
you ended up, so you got this deal with Mickey Motion. You ended up getting into sort of quite good contracts and working for different recording companies. So where did your life then take you from there? Did you go and tour yourself, or what was your sort of role out there in the world of careers?
Well, a lot of things happened to me by luck, meeting people and things like uh, people approached me. This particular singer, I forget his name, but he was in a band called Congregation, who had a hit record in the early 70s. He approached me and he said, I hear you're signed to Mickey Most. I said, yeah. He said, I'm looking for some songs. So we met up and took him round to his flat. And one of the songs, Chris Thompson was singing it, because I went into the studio with Chris. I was looking for a guitar player, and we went into the studio to do a demo, and I'd lost my voice. And Chris said, well, I sing a bit. So I let him sing, and I went, oh, my God, that guy can sing. He's amazing. So I said, oh, you sing the songs. And so I played him this tape to this guy from Congregation, and he was just over the moon when he heard Chris singing. And he wanted to make a record with Chris, like a Righteous Brothers style. And so they went into the studio, and there was a guy from the Applejacks, an old 60s band, saw Chris singing in the studio, phoned up Manfred Mann, because he knew Manfred Mann was looking for a singer. And Chris auditioned Chris, and Chris became the singer for Blinded by the Light.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. And you did a bit of acting yourself. Did you sort of aspire to be an actor at one point?
No, that was another accident. I never wanted to be an actor. I had this friend who came to visit me. I took sick and he came round to see how I was. And then he said, I'm going off to do a rehearsal. I said, are you an actor? He said, yeah, I do a bit of acting. He said, why don't you come with me? I said, what? It was like a little amateur dramatic company. So I went around just to see what it was like. And they handed me a script of it was only 3 lines or something. Here, you're in this play. I said, I can't act. And said, oh, yes, you can. And that was my first step. And then I met a woman agent who was, she was the girlfriend of a guy from Newcastle, Northern Ireland. So she recognized my accent. And then we started talking about Newcastle, blah, blah, blah. And she said, well, I'll sign you up. And she started giving me TV adverts, stuff like that. And then got a bit of small parts in telly, soap operas. And then I'd start doing stage plays.
How amazing.
So it was just coincidence that one thing led to another.
What's your preference then? Do you prefer to be up on stage singing, in a recording studio singing, or on stage acting?
I love recording studios. I just love them. Gigs are hit and miss. You could have a good gig or a bad gig. But with recording, you can just perfect it to the way you like it, and then it's there forever.
Is there a danger, though, of trying to be too perfect and to try and perfect a song to the nth degree where it just becomes a lifelong work,
Well, yeah, that's what Mickey Most said to me. He said, sometimes you go into the studio and there's a little bit of magic happens, and that's the hit record. You could go into the same studio with the same musicians and do the same song another day, and it'd be totally different. It wouldn't happen. It's hard to explain. It's just a one-off miracle, I would call it, where everything fits into place. And that's it. It's almost like cooking a meal. Sometimes you cook a brilliant meal, and then the next day you cook another one and it's not quite so good.
But the other thing that you got involved in is you started to write a book as well. Now, how did the book come about?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Well, that was because of an unfortunate incident with a girlfriend who we bought a house together, and then she decided to kick me out. And she lied to the police, and the police came around one night and kicked me out of my own home. So rather than tuck my tail between my legs and disappear, I thought I'd fight this. This is, you can't do something like that. So I fought for 8 years to prove that the police officer who accused me of shouting and swearing, that's all I was accused of, which I didn't, because they woke me up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I was half asleep when they woke me. And I just decided this is such an unusual incident that could have been resolved in a matter of days, even weeks. They stretched it out for 8 years, the police, before I could get them to court. And when I got to court, I won my case.
That's
but
amazing.
The only reason I did it was I just didn't like the fact that they had written a false crime report. And that's why I wrote the book. I just had to get it off my chest.
So what's the book called, and how can people get a read at this book?
It's on Amazon, as most things are nowadays.
Yeah.
It's called I Fought the Law by Pete Bite.
Great name. I know the song.
I recorded the song I Fought the Law as well. I was going to release the book with a CD inside. And then, of course, I realized as I went to a book club once and I was giving out the CDs and everybody kept saying, I don't have a CD player. So I realized there was no point in putting the CD in with the book because nobody seems to play CDs anymore.
Yeah, I know. It's tell us how this came about. What ignited the sort of idea in your head to write a Christmas song?
Well, I had the tune, and I originally was going to write it for my children. I have twins, and I wanted to write a song for them. But then when I seen Ukraine, this was about over a year ago, the Ukraine and now the Middle East, these wars, it seems to be civilians like children and women who are the ones who are suffering. And I just couldn't understand why because I saw it in Northern Ireland when they actually sat down and talked. That was the solution to peace.
We can only hope that things will get better. But thanks for joining us today, Pete. It was lovely to talk with you.
Well, it's my pleasure. Thank you for talking to me.
No, not at all. And we're going to give the song a blast. It's Christmas Eve. Give them love. And this will be on my playlist leading up to Christmas, I can assure you.
Thank you very much.
Have a wonderful Christmas, and here's hoping that the song does well.
Thank you very much, Aileen. You're very generous.
Take care, and God bless. Bye for now.
All the best. Thank you. Bye-bye. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Children sing on Christmas Eve, dreaming what tomorrow brings. On Christmas Eve, they'll be waiting, eyes wide opening, for the coming of the dawn. So ring the bells of joy and love on Christmas Eve. A world in fear of evil wars, that's not what we need. We speak of love, we talk of peace, yet choke on our greed. Children grieving, words are meaningless, they have nothing, give them love. And ring the bells of joy and love on Christmas Eve. It's time to believe peace on earth is not a dream. It's easily achieved. Then you'll be waiting, anticipating for the coming of the dawn. And ring the bells of joy and love all on Christmas Eve. Yes, ring the bells of joy and love all on Christmas Eve.
Oh, what a great song. Christmas Eve, Give Them Love by the fabulous Pete Bite, who was my guest today on the Sunday Banter Show.